All right, here we are again, Real Talk Tuesdays. My name is Justin Messina alongside Rob Shepard. Rob, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing awesome, man. How's everything with you, man?
Things are good. Things are good. It's been a long day. We're ready to get right into this topic tonight. This is going to be short and sweet tonight, so let's get right to it. First, I want to let Rob introduce himself and what he does a little bit. And at the tail end of the show, we'll go over how to get in contact with Rob or myself. So, Rob, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
My name is Robert Shepard. I'm actually a health, fitness, and lifestyle coach where I help you to find your vision, help you to get in great shape, great health, and live the lifestyle that you desire. You can find me at shepherdfit.info when it's SHEPHERDFIT.info.
Awesome, awesome. Great to have you as always every single week. My name is Justin Messina. Like I said, I'm at justin-messina.com. I'm a health and lifestyle coach as well, and doing some a business on the side as well with helping people go through the technical side of things, setting up a blog, and things in that realm. So, with that said, we do these Real Talk Tuesdays, touch on different lifestyle topics, and tonight we're going to touch on, you know, when is it appropriate to say no? How do you say no to people when, a lot. Rob and myself are obviously around a lot of health coaches like ourselves, and one of the things that is common is we're around a lot of people who just love to help people. They love to make a positive impact in other people's lives. And what's dangerous, there's a flip side to every gift, and the flip side to that gift is, if you always want to help people, that you can get yourself in situations where one, people can, walk all over you if you're not protecting yourself, and two, you're trying to help people in all kinds of different ways. You might throw yourself under the bus, and you might just take your time away from things that are really going to help in the long run. And ultimately, what you do the best is what's going to obviously help the greater good the most. So when we just have this attitude of just helping everybody, a lot of times that can go really sour really fast. So I just want to get into one kind of sub point about when to say no. So what are some good situations to say no in? Um, Number one, anytime you're not 100% sure that you want to do the thing that's being asked of you is a good way to say no. Um, and I've really come up with two questions around this topic of when are good times to say no versus things that you want to accept and say yes to. And number one, ask yourself, is this something I want to absolutely dedicate myself to? Because if it's something that you can't put 100% of your effort and your energy into, and you're not going to love it, then that's probably an indication that it's not something you really should go after, and you shouldn't just try to help someone out because you're going to be really splitting your time and your focus away from what's really going to move you forward. And number two, is doing this said endeavor going to move me closer to my vision or my ultimate goal? Because if it's not moving you in that direction, then you're moving away from it. If you're not moving towards the goal, you're moving in some other direction on some other path towards some other goal. And if you don't have the vision or you don't have the goal, you're you know you're leading yourself on a path to some unknown destination. So, with that said, Rob, I'd love for you to jump in. A lot more to say on this shorter hangout tonight. So, shoot, brother.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. As far as I like the topic as far as when to say no, because as health coaches, we have a tough time because with our training, we thought that help people as much as you can. But what you find out as you go along is there's a saying that if there's no skin in the game, it's very easy for you just to either stay or go. But when you have skin in the game, which that means investing in yourself, or I should say invest in ourselves, then it helps on both parties because now you take whatever is being done seriously, and it's a more of a working relationship and a more of a invested side of it, and it take things a lot more serious. So it's very difficult at time when to have that point of view to say no because you just want to say yes and help, help, help because you have this state of mind of giver's gain, but sometimes it's not always the greatest part to say giver's gain, because sometimes you would gain in the long run, but it doesn't help out that individual that you're actually working with. For example, if you're working with someone that looking to lose weight and you decided that, or for instance myself, I'm going to train someone, and here I am, I'm going to train him for free, and because I don't want to say no. I feel finance is tough and I'm going to do it for free. Now the person lost, say, 25 or 30 pounds. It's great and she's happy. Now I feel happy because she lost the weight, or I should say feel happy, both parties, whether it's he or she. But now there's no skin in the game, there's no investment side to it, so it's a lot more easier for that individual just to slack off, gain the weight back, because there's no skin in the game, there's no investment side to it. So that's where myself as a health coach has to understand that it's not everyone that we can reach out to the help. Because if that person have an invested interest into losing the weight or whatever he or she is trying to do, then it's a lot better for he or she to sustain and maintain the weight loss, or maintain the goal that he or she achieved. So that's where the no factor. So it's not saying no that it's going to be a way of saying you're being mean or you're not trying to reach out to help. Because sometimes we may say we don't have the money to do something, but if you really want to do it, guess what? You're going to find the money to do it. So that's where you have to say, understand the word no. Because I used this example before, and I thought it was a pretty good example, where it said, if someone come up to you today and said to you, if I say, for instance, Justin, let me play the role with you. Hey, Justin, I say, for instance, I ask you, you says to me, Rob, I want you, can you train me for free? And no, I charge $45 an hour. You're going to want, say, for instance, you want 15 sessions, and say it's going to run you $500. Okay?
Okay.
And I decided that, okay, I'm going to, you don't have any money, you're strapped, right? You don't have it, you're strapped. So I didn't say no, so I'm going to train you for free, right? Let's turn this around now. I'm going to say to you, hey, Justin, guess what, man? You just won a car, and it's a 2014 CLK Mercedes-Benz. And all you need to do to get this car to be yours is $5,000. Or I said $500. You think you're going to be able to come up with it to get it done?
You definitely are. That's for sure.
You see what I mean?
You're going to find a way.
You find a way. And our mentor wrote something before, and I read it, and it said, and this is just to help you out. I know this is for all of us as entrepreneurs, all of us as that do whatever we're doing in life. This is for every one of us. It's not just for Justin and I. So this is serious. And he wrote something, and he says, in your business, when you feel that someone says no, they can't afford it, this coming Friday, the iPhone 6 is being released, and it's running from, I think, is $499 to $600 to $800, because there's 3 separate gigabytes that's going on. And this was his statement. When you call any one of the cell phone companies, it said, because of high demand of callers for the iPhone 6, we may not be able to respond to your call anytime soon. You're going to be waiting. So what his statement was, how many people are ordering the iPhone 6 and paying the $499, the $600 to the $800 because it's something that they really want. Do you see the factor of the no factor? So don't always feel sorry for an individual that, oh, he or she doesn't have the money to invest it in their self, but if they want something, they will get it. So that's when you have to stay in your posture and start saying no. Remember, if whatever you're doing, if that was your only resort of income for your family, you have to make a living. So we have to understand the no factor at times. I'm not saying we can't give, because the word giver's gain, it's out there. I'm not saying we can't give, but we have to understand also the no factor. All right, so I think it's just a great topic because I find a lot of us in the health coaching circle feel that we want to just give. And in the long run, when there's no skin in the game, it can be a lot difficult, not always on our end, but also on the party end that's actually looking for the results.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the skin in the game concept because it's true when it comes to, you were talking about how someone making an investment versus someone who's not willing to make the same investment to get where they want, and 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 if you put yourself in a position where you're sort of giving, let's call it your offer, and you have an offer and it has a price tag on it, and for one reason or another you feel that, oh, this person can't afford it, or this person is in a tough financial situation, and you say, oh, I'm going to give this for free. um, and this act of charity is really not just doing yourself a disservice, but you're doing them a disservice as well,
Yes,
because they're
totally
not,
agree.
yeah, they're not, people need to learn that what you put into something is what you get out of it. There's no shortcut to where you're getting to. You can't jump into something that has a lot of value and do it for free, and immediately you're not going to see the value because you're not taking it seriously. Just like if someone buys like a diet plan, or someone buys a program, but if they can somehow get it for free, I mean, I'm gonna just give a personal example. In the past, I've looked at things where I was like going on a like download.com or something, or like there's like a program that's floating out there where it's not supposed to be floating out there, but I've like taken a look, and you see how you can download someone's program that they've created, some random like workout program or something, and you see that you're a lot less likely to follow through on that than if you were to say, okay, I'm going to research this. Okay, I want this. Okay, what's the price? Okay, I'm going to invest in this. Okay, now I'm going to go through this, right? Just like if a doctor gave you a recommendation, and your mindset is, okay, well, here's another thing that I have to do because my doctor told me to do. And we see it all the time. Rob, I know people have to shift their mindset, and they don't yet realize it, where they're just listening to other people. We just did a hangout on this, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, about becoming someone who's responsible for what they're going after. So are you going to just listen to someone tell you what you have to do, or are you going to take responsibility and say, okay, well, I have to be this person that's choosing my nutrition, for instance. And so if you are someone who realizes, I have to commit, and that's the way I'm going to see results, not by finding what's right out there. So no matter what's for free, you could have the best program in the world and you get it for free, you're not going to have the same mindset to put all your effort into that program. So um, with that said, I referred to that, what you have, that you're giving away, for free or for a paid service or paid product or service. If you call that your offer, your offer comes with money. And what happens with people is, if they put their money towards your offer, their money and their heart kind of go hand in hand, right? So if they're going to commit in one direction, their heart can't really get wrapped up into this offer or this program or this great thing that will help people. Um, their heart can't follow that if it's for free, because they don't have any level of investment. There's no reason for them to follow through. You've just given them permission to not take you seriously by giving it to them for free, and it's going to end up hurting you, because you're going to look less professional, like you don't have a great service that you're going to give it away for free, and then they're going to look at it like this, kind of the same way. They're going to say, okay, well, I got this for free, maybe I'll try this here and there, and they're not going to go after it like it's meant to. They're not going to follow it the way it's meant to be followed. So And I just wanted to kind of transition a little bit because I want to talk about how you direct your path, right? So like when we talk about answering yes or answering no to someone who has a proposal for you, whether it's like to partner with you or can you help me with this? I think one of the things you can do is you can completely direct your path by saying, okay, where where is it where I'm asking other people. So basically, you're directing, okay, where are my goals? Where's my path in life? Where am I headed? And how do I have people help me on that path? And how do I basically collaborate with people who are going in the same direction? So you're asking more questions where you know if people come on board and that project, whatever that is that you end up pursuing, it's something that you're completely directing versus the other side of the coin where people are coming to you asking, would you like to be part of this? Would you like to help me with this? And I think if you could be the person asking, then you're going to be in a lot better position if you can direct exactly where you're going. And then when people are asking you something of you, uh, I feel like the vast majority of those proposals have to be answered no. Or another thing is how do you say no? Which I think I'm going to get into. I'm going to let Rob. I want you to jump in on some of those points, and then I want to just go over quickly. Some ways that we can. It's 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 hard to say just no to someone, right? It can be difficult. So I'm going to get into that in a few minutes, but I definitely want to hear your input on that.
I mean, you got a great point. Within us, it's hard to say no, but I think automatically, if a person is approaching you for any form of help or assistance, depends on what the assistance and the services are in that state. And because when the word yes all the time can also put a person in a lazy state of mind. And purchased, say for instance, I'm going to buy a MacBook Pro. A MacBook Pro running you $1,000. There's an investment side of buying that MacBook Pro that thing is going to be utilized. But if I purchase that MacBook Pro for someone else and give it to them, it's a little bit different. You may look around in a year or two from now and that MacBook Pro may be sitting in the corner collecting dust or not being utilized as much as it can because there's not an investment side of it. So that's where the no factor comes in because like I said before, it has to be like an investment coming towards it because no matter how we look at it, we're all in to helping others, but others also has to understand that there's something has to be put forward for them to find a monetary value of it. When they within them, like Justin said before, that when it feels cheap by just saying yes, go ahead and I can help you. We have done that before. We're going to points where we spending time doing things, focusing on stuff, and it's in us to do that. But I think if you want to work with someone, or if you find someone that looking for your services in any way, given way, whatever it is, I think it should be some form of detailed written plan as far as what your expectation of that individual, and also the expectation of your services and yourself to that individual. So it's a lot more of a clearer direction as to where each other are. And that person back and just say, okay, it's gonna happen. And then you're like, okay, I'm the one who's sending text messages and said, hey, meet us. We're gonna run. Meet us. We're gonna work out. That shouldn't be. I shouldn't be the one sending out saying, hey, are we getting together? Hey, then it shows more of an interest from that party, and now you'll take things a lot more serious. But the no factor is very big, and a lot of us struggles with it because it's just in us to to want to give. It's part of our DNA, but at the end result, it's not value to both parties. It's, to be honest with you, value to myself and it's value to Justin if you see a person take off. Another example, I've helped a gentleman it's been about 2 years now. He sent me a message and he says to me, hey, uh, Rob, you know what, man, I was a professional boxer and I just can't get up off the couch. I'm putting weight on, I feel sluggish. I'm only 30 something years old. This is just not good. And you know what? I reached out to him and I helped him. And it was at no cost. But you know what? It's been over 2 years. And believe it or not, he just sent me a message now and says, man, I am in the best shape ever in my life. And I watch his post. He runs every single day. Sometime 3 a.m. in the morning, sometime 4 a.m. he's putting up a post, he's running. Then he goes to the gym and he works out. With that factor, that made me feel good. Even though it's a free of my services to him, but you know what? I feel the pay result to me was that to seeing that he's going at it still. He's still maintaining, he's sending me messages saying I'm in the best shape ever in my life. And I mean, you're talking about a former professional boxer. Think about that. If someone's going to say to you, I am in the best shape ever in my life. I mean, he just sent me the message, not even 30 minutes ago. That made me feel good. So some factors, you can do things for free as long as the person appreciates it and take it. But in the overall state, you have to put a price on your services because without any skin in the game, as I said before, sometimes it's just a waste of time and a waste of both parties' interests.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to, how you say no to people, I think one of the key things is you telling people like, look, let me get back to you on that in a simple way, and then I want to make sure that I can dedicate 100% of myself and give your project or your endeavor the time, the respect, and the dedication that it deserves. So I'm gonna make sure that I can. Just give me 24 hours to think about that, and I'll get back to you. I mean, that's pretty powerful in itself. And to touch on what you were saying, Rob, I think one of the things that is super important, and you brought that example with the guy that was such a good, happy to hear that about the former boxer. And you know, I like to ask like, how am I really going to help either the most people or make the greatest impact? How is it really going to happen? And I want to tie this to a story. It was probably a few weeks ago. I was walking out of a Whole Foods, and there was a guy who's like, hey, I'm homeless. Do you have any money you could spare? Do you have $1 you could spare? And I kind of gave over the dollar, like not really thinking about it. And then as I was walking back to my car, I started thinking about it, and I said, you know, what am I really what's really happening there, right? And I mean, I've been sort of on a very diligent financial kick, and I started thinking like, is giving $1 to a homeless person a good decision? And you might think, oh, well, whatever, it's $1, it's a homeless person, you're helping them out. I started thinking back, and I started thinking, well, you know, this is on a very small level, $1, but there's $3, there's $5 coffees, there's all kinds of different levels of this, where if you can ask yourself, is this money I'm giving, even if I'm giving to help somebody, am I really helping them? And I don't have any sort of specific opinion about people who are homeless or anything like that. There's all kinds of different people in any tax bracket or whatever. And but I was thinking, if I give $1 to a homeless person and they just go buy a meal, they're gonna be asked for that $1 next week and next week. And this actually happened while I was in Florida. Like the same homeless person asked me for money, and then a few weeks later I saw them again. They asked for money again, and I don't think they even remembered me. So it's like, where's my money going if I'm helping someone who needs a meal, right? Versus what if I don't give money out unprovoked, the things that are just happening around me, and I focus on, what I'm doing so that I can grow myself to a point where I can just give massive amounts. Because obviously, in the beginning of wealth accumulation, it takes a lot more to start to build it. So that's just that. I don't mean to say anything specific by that as far as what's good and what's bad, but it's an interesting thought process to have when you start to think about, what's a good position to say, yes, I will give here, or no, I'm not going to give here, and it's just very tricky if you really get down to what's really happening in a lot of different situations. And it's just the most important thing, I think, is just to ask questions of yourself, to really just paint the picture in as much of a reality lens as possible, rather than just having a knee-jerk reaction of just like, oh yeah, I'll give here, or okay, of course I'll help you with this. If you can really ask, like, what's really happening here? Am I really helping the person? Because I think it's the same whether it's someone asking for money to help them out in their life, someone asking for your help, or someone asking for your services for free because they can't afford them. It all matters whether or not you're actually going to help them.
That's
And
true.
like
That's a great point.
Rob said in his story, obviously it takes the discernment to know, oh, this person's been in great shape for whatever reason. I know this person will be able to take this free program and be able to run with it, versus the person who is just sort of like looking for anything for free and won't spend a dime on anything. So
Mm.
that's my take on it, Rob. I think at this point, final thoughts, and we'll wrap up. So take it away. And also, when you're you said it earlier in the hangout, but I think one more time, if you could share how people can contact you after you share your
Yep.
final thoughts.
This was an awesome hangout. Great point. I know a lot of folks will find value from it because I interact with a lot of folks that have a tough time saying no and just feels that, we want to help, 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 but we just have to understand it's not that you're not being nice. It's not that you're being mean. It's not that you're not being considerate, but understand that when both parties has an invested side interest in whatever it is, it's a great thing for both parties. And they will appreciate it more than if you're just being give, give, give. And it's funny how, just to show you these things work on such a deep spiritual level at times, Justin, I had the same thing just happen. No lie. The same guy I walked by, I gave him so far. The first time I gave him about $4. Second time was like a couple dollars. And now again, he just asked me again for $1. And this time I gave him $1. And it's not even about giving the dollar because that, I probably do more for him than anything. But, I sit back and I look and said to the guy, here I am, a manager of a corporation that I know for sure I can help that man to get a position, but sometimes that would have done more good than giving the dollar. Because I know if he come in and fill an application out, I've seen him out there, and if he's willing to work, I will definitely give him a position to go to work, and he can earn more than that dollar, earn more than that $5 that he's earning. So, again, like you make that statement, that isn't really doing anyone no justice. So by me doing that for him, did him no justice whatsoever. I have another story again, which is kind of weird, and I'm not going to go on long. I just want to cut it real short. But I had a homeless lady at another store that I was at, in her car sleeping every single day. And we offered her a position, and you know what she said? Nope, she don't want it. So she's okay sleeping in her car. And she's fine with that. So when we see sometimes we see these things, that's what the person want to do. Another story again, I'm not showing you because it's coming back and forth as we're kicking on that. Another time again, I saw a homeless lady, and I was with my son. I went ahead to the ATM machine. I pulled out $50, and I went ahead and I was handing her the $50. You know what she says to me? Get away, man. Get away. Please get away. Please, I'm asking you, leave me alone. So I was just felt that I wanted to be from the goodness of my heart. My son was like, Daddy, what's wrong with her? And I said, she's okay where she at. So it's not all the time when we see a person, they're okay. So they're saying no to us, even though you're trying to be nice. So that's where we have to have that no structure come up. So, to end it, you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm there, Rob Shepard 72. That's my Facebook ID, or you can also find me at shepherdfit.info. And also I'm on Google Plus, any one of the social media I'm there, so you can connect with me there. I'd love to connect with you and we can elaborate more on this topic.
Awesome, awesome. So those are good stories too, because I actually just reminded me of another one where I was ready to get on a train, and there was a homeless guy came up to me and he said, you know, he actually didn't even identify himself as, that way, or that he needed money, and we started talking for a while, and it was almost like, it was a good conversation, but then after a while I figured, like, well, maybe he was just doing it the whole time because this is what he does. He goes around and he meets people knowing that he's not going to be in any one place too long, and, tries to build rapport and then ask someone, for them to give him some money. And before, I actually felt like the guy, sometimes you get a sense either someone is like, I'm homeless, this is where I'm gonna be, this is who I am, whatever, and like saying no to a job opportunity, like those, some people are like that, but other people, you feel like it's just probably a phase in their life where something happened, and you know they're they're perfectly good people that can succeed, want to succeed, ready to succeed, and this person seemed that way. So I figured, I didn't have any cash on me, but I was like, maybe I could give this person an opportunity of, literally a place to go online where it's like, if you run with this, you could make some money doing this. If you just had an interconnection, like an hour a day, if you could figure out a way. And I actually wrote him a letter before I could even give it to him. He was off asking someone else for money, and he just left. So it was just, it's one of those things, it's interesting, but yeah, that's great. I mean, really, really enjoyed being here with you, Rob, as always. And
You
we
too.
have these Real Talk Tuesdays every single Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and also on the replays on our YouTube channels. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/jmslife. I'm also on social media at jmslife. And once again, my website is justin-messina.com. And with that said, Rob, did you want to, what's your YouTube channel?
On my YouTube channel, you can reach me at robertashepherd.info. So it's ROBERTA, and it's Shepherd, SHEPHERD.info.
Alrighty, that's great. So you can check us out there. And once again, Real Talk Tuesdays every Tuesday night. So next week we'll be back with another topic. And with that said, we close out like we always close out, saying, "Live Vision Fit." We're out.
We're out.